We find Cyclops walking towards the forest outside the village, struggling with learning of Jean Grey's fate. Overcome with grief, he feels he would have known whether Jean had died, and in rage unleashes an unrestrained optic blast upon the forest. In response to the attack, a T-Rex appears, startling the teen. Cyclops dodges out of the way of a lethal bite, determined not to harm it, as he was encroaching on its territory and the dinosaur is merely defending it. He feels it would dishonor Jean's memory to kill an innocent creature. As the T-Rex moves in for the kill, Beast swoops down and saves Cyclops, who sees that he's in an ecstatic mood and can't understand why, when Angel also appears, saying they've got great news to tell him. The two begin arguing over who will give the news when Scott yells at them to just tell him. With a huge grin, Warren informs the leader that Jean is still alive, and Hank explains that the natives might have been talking about Jean having died metaphorically due to some custom they might have. Back in New York, we see Zelda on the phone talking to her mother about how Bobby suddenly showed up when he begins to awaken. She asks if he's feeling better when he realizes where he is and tells her of how he was so angry at the professor that he was in a daze. Pouring him some coffee, she asks why he disappeared from her life when he apologizes and tells her about meeting Lorna and how Lorna then met Alex. Zelda becomes pissed off at hearing this, as Bobby had dumped her without a word only to come back like this when Vera enters the room. He makes up an excuse when Vera asks if Hank is there when he realizes that his friends might be in trouble and he didn't do anything. Just then, he accidentally intercepts a mental message from Xavier meant for Lorna and Alex, learning that the professor has lost contact with the X-Men. Horrified, he quickly leaves to go help them. Wanting to get to the bottom of why Bobby acted strange and left, Zelda places a call to Candy Southern. Candy listens and, having a history with Warren, is asked to visit the school to get answers. Back with Cyclops, he learns that the dying are taken to a place of passage. Beast learned that it was a physical place they were taken by priests, and Scott wants to go there immediately. He is told though that it's forbidden to go, but he doesn't care. We then see Jean when someone says she is fully healed, but another wants to keep her asleep. Magneto's ghost tells the priest that she is an enemy, and if she awakens, all their plans would be ruined. Scott and others manage to find the passage they were told of and see the priests, though they look odd. They see someone being led through and note that the priest's robes look oddly organic. They watch as a group of older people board a small ferry and disappear into the tunnel. Scott wonders if it leads underground or to the other side of the mountain when Warren decides to check the land route while Scott and Hank go through the tunnel. Hank hopes that Scott knows what he's doing, and the leader assures him that he's not letting Jean cloud his judgment. Before they move off to the tunnel though, the villagers appear, insulted that they are going to their holiest of areas. The village leader then orders a trio of archers to fire. Cyclops easily destroys the arrows and shoots the ground beneath the villagers' feet, careful not to harm them too much. Beast lunges into the remaining warriors while suggesting that they beat a hasty retreat. Leaping down into the cave, he sees the priests looking at him but not doing anything. However, as he moves closer, they reveal that the robes are actually a pair of wings and that they aren't quite human. Relaying the information to Cyclops, they quickly board the boat, and he uses his optic blast to propel the vessel forward. However, a single archer, taking aim, releases an arrow that finds its target in Scott's chest. Afraid, Beast tells him to stay still or it will get deeper, and tells him that they might find help in the paradise that's promised. Cyclops, though, fears that the arrow may have nicked his heart as he gets weaker. Telling him to hold on, they continue through the tunnel when they see light shining through an opening. Paradise, though, isn't what they expected it to be. Fearing they may have gone the wrong way, Hank sees Scott pulling the arrow from his chest, yelling at him to stop. Scott, though, shows that his wound is already fully healed to the shock of Hank when a cage drops down encasing them. Back with Warren, he is being assaulted by a flurry of harsh winds. Seeing that he can't go over them, he tries to go under and, being careful, sees rocky outcroppings beneath him. A sudden gust then throws him into one of the rocks. Falling to the earth, he slides among the snow. Coming to a stop and knocked out, a shadow enshrouds him as someone with wings lands next to him.